Good evening, I'm Michael Patterson, and tonight, we take a closer look at the weekend events in Chicago, a city that braced itself for what many feared would be a National Guard takeover. That did not happen. But what unfolded instead was a sweeping federal immigration operation, one that has rattled immigrant communities, deepened tensions between Washington and local leaders, and raised urgent questions about civil liberties, federal overreach, and the future of America's sanctuary cities. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell to stay informed. What happened over the weekend? Federal agents with Immigration and Customs Enforcement carried out what officials are calling Operation Midway Blitz, targeting individuals with outstanding deportation orders. Arrests were confirmed in several Chicago neighborhoods, including Pilsen, Little Village, and Cicero, as well as in suburban areas. Despite rumors and viral social media posts, there was no deployment of the National Guard in Chicago. The Guard's absence, however, did little to calm anxieties, as speculation fueled fears of mass detentions and militarized enforcement. Local resistance Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson wasted no time responding. In an emergency executive order, he instructed city police not to participate in federal raids, effectively drawing a line between local law enforcement and ICE. Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker echoed that stance, calling the operations a reckless misuse of federal power and warning that any attempt to deploy the National Guard without state authorization would face immediate legal action. On the ground, protests and mobilization throughout the weekend, Chicagoans took to the streets. Demonstrators gathered downtown, blocking traffic near Federal Plaza, while smaller rallies erupted across neighborhoods most affected by immigration enforcement. Faith leaders opened churches as sanctuary spaces, and grassroots groups mobilized rapidly, distributing Know Your Rights flyers and offering legal hotlines to those fearing deportation. The federal defense from Washington, the White House defended the crackdown. Officials said Chicago's sanctuary policies obstruct federal law enforcement and claimed that the operation was necessary to target what they described as criminal elements within immigrant communities. Yet, critics argue the raids were deliberately staged to send a political message in an election year, deepening distrust between immigrant families and government institutions. The bigger picture. Power struggles and civil rights. This weekend's standoff reignited a larger debate. Where does federal power end and local authority begin? Legal scholars point out that immigration enforcement is a federal responsibility, but the use of the National Guard, especially without state consent, would push into untested constitutional territory. Civil rights advocates warn that even the threat of such deployment can intimidate entire communities into silence and fear. Human impact behind the headlines. Families are living the consequences. Advocacy groups report that children were left stranded when parents were detained, and schools saw a sharp increase in absences Monday morning as families feared leaving home. Community leaders say this is not only about arrests, but about the psychological toll on neighborhoods that already feel under siege. Tonight, Chicago stands as a flashpoint in a national showdown between federal immigration priorities and local leaders determined to resist them. No troops marched in this weekend, but the shadow of that possibility continues to hang over the city. And with legal battles now looming, Chicago may soon become the test case for how far the federal government can go in confronting sanctuary cities. This is Michael Patterson for Free Press TV.